I went to a singles event last night, and I have to say it was the worst singles event I've ever been to. I had a horrible time, and here is why. So first of all, a little bit of backstory. I have been to so many singles events in the past. I go to regular events by myself all the time. I'm fine with that. I'm happy with it. I actually enjoy it, okay? And last night I thought was going to be no different. I thought I was going to go there, enjoy myself, and even if I don't meet somebody, I'm still going to have a nice evening. First of all, everything is literally going wrong, right? And my nail is like chipping. I'm not happy with my makeup. My hair comes out crossier than right now, okay? It was like so bad, and I was not happy with my look. But basically it was a speed dating event but with food, and every course the men would kind of change tables and the women would stay seated. So every single table I was on, I was seated with people with like just terrible energy, men who were just really not my cup of tea, who just I would never date in 1,000 years. And I actually came across a few people that, you know, like when you sit next to someone and they kind of suck your energy. I had this several times. So many people were so negative, and I was just completely over it. I was just like, you know what, I just don't want to be here right now. I stayed, and I was not happy I stayed. I almost got into an argument with one of the men, and I thought, you know what, these kinds of people are not ready for a woman like me. They don't understand what's really going on. I want more. Okay, so I was not happy with the selection. Not one of those men in there was my cup of tea, and I was just over the whole thing, to be honest. The energy was off. I didn't like, yeah, it was just all wrong. And it made me realize that I'm not going to another singles event. I'm not doing it. I don't need to. I can meet people other ways as well. I can go to regular events. I can go out on just walking. I can meet people. I can do whatever, online dating. So I don't need that. Okay, so I've basically got to a stage, I feel like I'm above singles events, and the people who are going are really not in the league that I want them to be in. So that's my 2 cents. How are you guys feeling about singles events? Are you going to them still? Are you over them? Are they not on your level? Let me know in the comments.
Let's be real for a second. The outcome shouldn't surprise anyone. Women keep showing up expecting some polished, high-value man to magically appear, but those men aren't wasting their nights at manufactured dating events. They're out building their future, not speed-running conversations with strangers. After years in the dating scene, you'd think the pattern would be obvious. Speed dating has never been the solution. And if you truly felt above everyone in that room, you wouldn't have been there trying to prove it. The irony is, most people go to these events trying to escape the very reality they helped create. High-value men don't chase environments that never catered to them in the first place. They simply move on.
Seriously, I just came back home from a Melbourne singles dating event for over 30s. And man, I've got a bone to pick with some people that go to these events. Seriously. Now, firstly, I just want to make it clear, I absolutely admire the hosts and the people that run these events. I think they're great. I think it's a great, option than having single men and women rely off dating apps for starters, because it's a great place to push people out of their comfort zone. That's for the most part. And I love these events. I actually take a lot of clients to these events. I think they're great. What happened tonight? Oh my gosh, seriously. People like this should just stay at home, okay? I brought a male client of mine. He's been single for a while. He's socially anxious and he's shy. Like, he just doesn't know how to start conversations with women. So I brought him to this event thinking that it would be great, and it was at a great establishment. And we see 2 women that aren't occupied, and we go up and I go, cheers, guys. I'm guessing you guys know each other. And one woman was, great personality, down to earth. But the other one, oh my freaking gosh, man. The biggest 2-cent attitude I've ever seen. We were just having general chit chat for about a minute and a half. And then I just asked her, I said, hey, how are you finding your first event at this singles event? And she goes, are you serious? Do you not hear what I said? I said, sorry, what? And she goes, you clearly don't listen to people. I told you how many times I've been to these events. And I said, oh, sorry, look, it's been a long day. And she goes, no, you're just clearly not a very observational type of person. And my client looked at me and he's like, bro, what fucking hole did this girl crawl out of? And I looked at him, I'm like, it's okay, just leave it. So I laughed it off. And I said, that's okay, look, it's been a long day. I guess that's a strike, one strike against my name. And she goes, no, you've just got a big strike against you as a person. I was like, wow, like you just want to keep pouring salt on that wound. My client was just like, bro, this is why I choose not to go out and try and meet women anymore, especially here in Melbourne. And so, I changed the topic. And I'm like, so what have you noticed tonight? How are you finding things? And she just turned it back to me and goes, I don't know. What are you noticing? And I was like, man, this girl has attitude. I said, all right, well, I think I've noticed a lot of guys, they come here by themselves and they're usually socially anxious. I can tell because they're a bit shy. They're not really initiating conversations. And she goes, well, why don't you go talk to them than be so judgmental? And I looked at her and man, I was so tempted to just say, what the fuck is your problem? Like, it's clearly very clear why you're single. I wanted to fucking say that, but I just looked at my client and I wanted to be a good example and I just laughed it off and I said, you know what? And then we just turned around and I said, yeah. He goes, bro, what the fuck was that? And I said, yeah, just ignore it. It's 1 out of every 10 that you'll get a bad egg like that. Just 1 out of 10. It's a law of average. So my message to people when they come to these events, whether you have a shitty day or whether your life is just fucking shitty right now, don't come to these events trying to pull people down. You got to understand, both men and women are come to these events because they're socially anxious. A lot of the times they come by themselves and they're out there to meet people. And if someone's coming in with the attitude to just try and fucking unleash thunder and unleash shit because they've had a shitty day, man, just stay home. Don't even come out at all. That's my fucking 2 cents for this.
It's always revealing when a single woman shows you exactly why she's still single. Somewhere along the way, someone crowned her a princess, but the behavior she's displaying doesn't match the title. After an encounter like that, most men quietly step back and rethink the whole situation. And honestly, you can't blame them. A man who knows his value isn't sticking around for entitlement dressed up as confidence. The second her attitude outweighs her qualities, he's already gone. And the funny part is, she won't realize what she pushed away until the silence finally sinks in.
It didn't go well. It actually was kind of catastrophic for me. I will tell you why. I learned that I am just not competitive enough to go to these singles mixers. I'm just not. So like I said, this was my first time going by myself. Normally I have my friend there as like a wing woman and a buffer, and that really helps me. But I am generally so anxious. Like it's just how I am. Like I can control it, but I'm just a very nervous person. So they had like these tables set up where people can like play card games, and I was at the table playing this game, and this guy comes and I thought he was so cute. For context, it's very rare that I see someone in person that's like, oh my god, like you're really cute. He was even standing next to me while we were playing the card game. We had light conversation, intro, my name is blah 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 blah. But then 2 other girls showed up that were like really bubbly and outgoing, and they started talking, and then it just progressed from there. And it got so bad, when I say bad I mean good for them, that at some point I was just like, okay, I lost that one. And I did talk to some other guys there, and it was cool, like very cool, friendly conversation, but it didn't really go much further than that. It was always like a one-off, hi, my name is blah blah blah. And I understand that like flirting and like getting to know new people is a skill, and I'm gonna have to just keep trying it. But I also don't like the feeling of like competing. It felt really competitive to me, because when you're in a social setting like a singles mixer where people are there for like common reasons, it becomes really apparent what like the stock is, like the food chain, you know what I mean? Like they're always going to be the hot items, the people that everybody wants to talk to. And if you fall outside of that list, you really have to know how to be a good conversationalist. And when I'm by myself, I'm not. And it's just an L that I had to take. But y'all, I left feeling so defeated, because I was like, oh my god, I had so much steam. I was so excited to just go out there and push myself, and I did not. I felt like I let myself down. Like, I didn't feel good at the end of it. I felt like I was a loser.
Let's be honest. The men who actually show up to these mixers are rarely the ones women truly want. Most of the time, they're either the leftovers women overlooked or just another option to pad her roster. The dynamic was never built for quality. It was built for convenience. Women don't go there to find a man they respect. They go there to find a man who's available. And the moment men stop showing up, the whole illusion falls apart.
I would love if we could be honest and rebrand singles events as the truth, which is a perfect place to meet your brand new platonic best friend. Men don't go to these. Men do not go to singles events. Stop paying money to go to singles events. Men don't go. Stop it.
Modern singles events lost their purpose long ago, and men simply walked away from the performance. Why pay to be ignored while women compete with each other for validation? These events aren't about connection anymore. They're ego circles blaming men for a system women stopped making worthwhile.
All that work and what did it get me?
Okay, so I recently went to a singles event and it was 90% women. And I was wondering, like, where's all the dudes? I don't know, but they're not there. And that's cool, not like I care.
Men aren't skipping these events by accident. They've realized they're expected to pay, not be valued. When men feel like wallets instead of partners, checking out is easy. And if rooms are full of women, but men stay home, maybe the issue isn't the men at all. If the message hit, like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.